So guys, we're back. Just look at, I literally need to stop every episode stretching for everything. Ugh. Alright. Get adjusted. I woke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world? Or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day, and tried to shake off these thoughts. I cut off. Oh, your horizon. And right on the minute, you show up at this time every day, like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is a good in this line of work. I've got something for you. An envelope from the facility. Oh, these are the results from the tests These are the results from the tests Anna ran on my blood. She must have sent this before she was. No, it's no use thinking about that now. Maybe the test results will help with us. Good God. Let's see. Remarkable similarities in genetic makeup, particularly in the brain structure. Oh, I suppose this isn't the only reason you're here. Wait, his eyes? You're gonna... Oh yeah, his eyes did change, okay. Let the chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? We arrived at a place that looked like an ordinary house. Had it not been for its extraordinary size, it might be more of a hostel than a family home. Chief. There you are. Wait, weren't you supposed to be with Emra? Luckily, she doesn't work every day of the week. I see. Anyway, we're nearly done here, so I'll keep it short. Razor broke into the hatchery. There is another victim, an employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite away from here. There is evidence of a struggle, but she covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. Loud bangs were heard from the area her body was found, and she had numerous wounds consistent with both the wounds of the previous victims and that of another weapon he has. By this point, news of another corpse didn't have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Razor's faceless victims. A hatchery? Is that what the building is? Well, not only. God, it's a council-owned bid. Okay. Boy, as in it's getting you. Well, it's not only. It's a council bid, or it's council-owned bid, and they like keeping everything related to the sector on the same roof. So besides hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a clinic inside. There are also offices related to the administration of those services. That reminds me of the production facility. Okay, I'm actually going to... That's not correct. That is correct. Okay. Can I turn you down just a tiny bit? Because you are extremely loud. Okay, neat. That reminds me of the production facility. It should. They have a similar management structure. Can we get back to the case? Sorry for the interruption, Chief. Wait a minute. If an orphanage is in there too, there are no other casualties. But Razor got something else when he broke in. A generator, as well as a few eggs. Luckily, the power was restored before anything happened to all the other eggs. Left inside, but needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy. Why would he steal eggs in the first place? Maybe you can tell us. That's why you're here after all. I don't know. I have no idea what he would even do with them. Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip. After all, he still has to make his escape, and the portal's still broken. Do you think he wants to exchange them for a safe passage through the portal? Maybe. It is still broken though, so I'm not sure if that would be much help. Maybe he has the default need to repair it, and now he has everything he needs to escape. He could trade the eggs for safe passage, fix a portal one day. That's not the only possibility. He may not be the one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as a bargaining chip to get you to repair it. If he just wanted to leave, I feel like he could have done that already. It doesn't matter who said that, Immortal. We only know that Razor's actions are becoming more and more desperate. He kidnapped defenseless eggs and even used the human weapon. Something's clearly gone off him. Maybe it means that he'll slip up soon. Who knows? Maybe he already has. In any case, we're all done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully, some of the test results will tell us something. After a brief, I gotta stop with the TH on the Fs. After a brief walk, we were in Bryce's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but didn't reveal any insightful or new information. So, what are we gonna do now? Go over to Talon again? Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. Well, what do you have in mind? Suddenly, let's knock at the door. Come in. Ah. Really should check what your voice is. I'll just try to find you something. I don't know. I've changed Bryce's and Maverick's and Razor's voice so many times. I don't even remember where to begin. Maverick, what are you doing here? I should go super deep with you, I guess. Chief. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. No, I'm checking recordings. Jump cut. Okay. Think I have a voice? I don't know. If it sounds like Bryce's, then it sounds like Bryce's. Chief, can I talk to you? Alone. We're quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about? Razor. Well, you're looking for Razor? You're looking at looking at the Razor Task Force. So, if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us. I say, I think I know where Razor is. You know where Razor is at this very moment. I have good reason to believe that I have located his hideout. He could still be there, or he might have moved on. Damn, Maverick, tell me everything. I've been tracking him for a while now, and where he was at the portal a few days ago. I nearly got him and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, where he's been and where his victims are found, I can triangulate his whereabouts. He has to live somewhere, right? He needs a base to hide the generators and everything he has stolen. Bryce cleared the clutter on a table and smoothed out the map of the town on its surface. It already had a few locations related to the case marked on it. Show it to me. Prior victims were found here and here. Today it was here. She was following him, likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This path here, he took from the portal and then followed when I followed him a few days ago. So, we have established that this is his area of operation. Extrapolate it, and we can narrow it down to this. Now, where could he be hiding in this area? He's certainly not within the village borders, so unless he decided to live in the wilderness or on the ground, the only option is here. The abandoned farm. Where did you figure all this out? Just a few minutes ago. When I did, I immediately came here. Damn it, Maverick. This might be it. So we're seeing an observation team. As if we had one spare. Heck, we're going there right now. What about you, Maverick? I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw Razor now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't. How about you, Horizon? Isn't this going to be dangerous? Razor probably won't harm you, as you're the only one he could possibly consider an ally. Good point. If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. Or we could act like we intended to trade you for the eggs if you try to use him as a bargaining chip. You're not really going to use me as ransom, right? We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll play along. I've got your back. There's nothing we could do. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole operation even worse, it'd be messing up with you. We have the only support if we walk into his base right now, but we risk Razor lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this beastly, observation is probably the way to go. I don't really trust Maverick because, I don't know, last time he confronted me, I was like, yo, you bad. And then now he's all like, yo, I'm on your side. Well, I guess he always was, but like, not. Oh, he's not on the human side, he's with the dragons, but I'm also on the dragons, so therefore I'm on his. Whatever, I just don't trust him. I feel like he's gonna, like, I don't know, set off a tactical nuke. Or, I guess we won't need Horizon there for that, though. Do you enough? Alright, Horizon, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without us telling you, understand? Okay. Alright then, let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. And Maverick, good job. Thanks, Chief. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. And I had to wait. Bryson and Sebastian were observing the farm now, and if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. After a few hours, the telephone in his office rang, and not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Horizon. Yeah? I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem. There you go. So what happened? Is that a tire or a clock? That's a tire. I should put a tire up there. I don't know. A whole lot of nothing. There was no movement to or from the building in the time we've been watching. He usually operates during the night, so maybe he's just asleep. If that's the case, then it would be best for us to go in before he has a chance to make his escape. Or maybe he's not even in there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed. Plenty of time to destroy evidence while we've been waiting here. You're right. Either he's still inside or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in. Which I do. You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. I'm on it, Chief. I go in, and you stay here, alright. What am I even here for then? Your insurance. If Razor tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him. Or if we get into a standoff, I can tell him you're here as well. I just don't want to come inside when it... I don't want you to come inside when it could be dangerous. Well, let me go first, or alright. I, feel like, the smart option would be me wait outside, but then again, Anna died, so that means, like, anyone could die. Then again, I kind of already knew that because, you know, like, I accidentally saw spoilers when I went into the settings, not settings, the profiles to get the pictures, whatever. Anyway, I'm trying to, we gotta think about this logically, right? Sees the dragons first, he's more likely to attack. He sees me first, he might be less likely to attack. However, he probably doesn't like me, because at the beginning of the game, it was pretty clear that he was like, why are you trusting them? And I've been helping them, and they made an announcement about me helping them. Whatever, I really don't want to risk lives, because it's like, if I die, you know, I reset time. So, I'll go first, I don't know. What? Maybe I can talk to him, and we can figure things out. I don't know why he wants to kill me. I don't think he wants to kill me, so even if it doesn't work out, Sebastian and you will stay nearby to catch him. I'll be right behind you then. Do be careful. We slowly made our way to the front door. I took deep breaths and tried to prepare myself for the possibility facing Reza. The tense scenarios and things I could say to him rushed through my head as I pressed down on the door handle. The door inched to open with a creak, but I noticed a slight resistance and a strange sound that suddenly made me hesitate. Ah, booby-trapped. See, that would have killed someone. I looked down to the source of noise. I saw a taut wire through the gap, the door, hovering over the floor of the entryway. That was a pretty close call, you know. Too bad Reza wasn't here after all. Maybe he saw us, and he ran when he saw us approach. Strange for him to leave everything behind, though. Everything he stole, then all the generators still here. Okay, now I'm really curious to see, like, what would happen if he would have went first, but I don't know, maybe another playthrough. Do you think the drop was for us and like we did? Probably not. It was most likely, it was likely more a general safety precaution. If he had any time to prepare for this, he would have taken the stuff with him. True enough, I had no idea you could make a bomb out of a generator. Then you just happened to know that. Oh my god. that you just haven't been with us long enough. If you know how it's not even that complicated. And Reza somehow figured it out? Apparently so. Does he have any skills pertaining to engineering or electricity? Well, he worked on cars before and fixes a lot of things at home. I guess I would qualify him. He also could have done his own research. Either way, this makes him even more dangerous. At least we hope we don't hear that, because that was my sister. I'm just gonna redo that. I don't know. Either way, this makes him even more dangerous. At least now we have a whole buildings with clues. Right, can you get to your apartment from here? We'll be busy with this scene for a while. No problem. I'll leave the door to you then. Good job, Ryzen. Thanks. Yeah, good thing I went first. I don't think I would have been good if you went first. I'm surprised you called me back so quickly. How's the investigation going? Oh, the investigation's going swimmingly, but as you can expect, we need all the help we can get, as usual. How the case has been going, we've realized we must employ external help. Oh? Yeah, we've requested assistance from one of the cities. We hope they'll send some good investigators on our way soon. See? Well, we were so close today. You go up in there, maybe we just came a few minutes too late. And if he knows how to make bombs from generators, he used to say he won't start using them this way. At least he doesn't have any right now, does he? You said all the generators that were stolen are accounted for now? True. Still, this whole operation, this whole case is going too much. Oh my god, it's just English. True. Still, this whole case is going to be too much for a small town police department. Hope you'll get all the help you'll need. Me too. But right now, you can help us again. Well, tell me what I have to. What's it? Oh my god. I can read. I promise I can read. Oh well, what do you have for me? When we searched the building, we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need to find out, but you're not Southern. That's what we need to find out, but given all we knew, it probably is. So he's wounded. Wait, no, he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In the case, could you bring it to the lab for us once we get out find out more? Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud beings during the night. We'd like to send someone. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You'll need to confirm the witness statement, then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we've reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with human artifacts, they're better suited to do it than the involved departments. No problem. On last way, we have the eggs. It's a relief that we found them unharmed in the building. They're safe and all and ready to be sent back to the hatchery. Shall we take care of those first? It's not as imagine as you might think. All eggs are pretty resilient. Being in the care of the hatchery is more of an insurance than a requirement. Some people choose to keep them in their own home until they hatch, rather than having the hatchery take care of it. The hatchery has been notified, but they won't be able to send someone for a few hours. I've heard they're really understaffed. If you could bring the eggs and people to them, you'd speed up the process, but it's not an urgent matter. See, in any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it. So feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands. Don't worry about it. By the way, are you planning to attend some festival? Should I? I think about something fun while I'm wrapped up in this investigation. For sure. It's important to take a short rest so you don't lose your head. There's so much to see at the festival, particularly the big fireworks. I enjoy fireworks too. But I thought I would think something like that would feel so commonplace since so many people breathe fire. It's not quite the same. We still appreciate the wonder and kind of filbursts in the sky. On the last day, there's always a big fireworks show. Everyone usually attends it. Everyone? Yes. It has a great tradition behind it. What pays me most is that I'll be on guard duty when it happens this year, so I probably won't be able to see a thing. I'll be sure not to miss it then. Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest once I get back. Alright? Sure thing. Good luck, Robin. You do. Alright, so we have 3 tasks and only 2 to do. Okay, so I actually have 4 things to do, and I'll probably only do 2 of them. So, we should probably help with the investigation, right? Instead, eggs are like very unimportant. Though that'd be a good gesture on the benefit of humanity, but like, when have we ever been doing ambassador stuff? We've just been trying to get a dime. So, getting the witness and getting the bandage would probably take priority. So we'll just take the bandage. I hope this is the right place. Yo. Not me, I'm bald. Alright, Damien. What voice? Can I help you? Yeah, I'm just dropping this evidence off on behalf of the police. From Raisa's case, right? I already made a demo. Yep, well, here you go. Thanks, I'll get right to it. Huh. That was very simple. I'm also guessing those people that show up for like 2 scenes are like high backer supporters or something? I don't know. Oh, visit the witness. Just kind of do these in order, I guess. I'm assuming they're gonna get 2 tasks though. What's your voice getting like really deep? Oh, it's you. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm working with the police and hoped you could answer a few questions. Because I responded to your call for witness about last night, right? Yes. Alright, what do you want to know? Can you tell me what happened? Sure, I was running an experiment in my home laboratory and waiting for it to finish. Around 2 a.m., I suddenly hear a few bangs outside. They remind me of a small explosion. It sounded like they were coming from just around the corner. I see. Did nothing about this seem unusual to you? Not really. I've caused a few similar disturbances with my experiments before. If someone else decided to take up home experimentation, they certainly have my approval. Besides, I wasn't in any position to abandon the experiment that was running at the time, or else I could have had a similar outcome. Thank you, and that'll be all. No problem. By the way, are you going to meet with Norm again anytime soon? I don't know. How am I asking? We've hung out with him a few times now. You see, he doesn't have many friends, and I think he's starting to like you. That's not really unusual. It's just, if something happens the next time you meet, don't be mad, okay? Okay. Huh. Well, sorry, Norm, but a dying comes first, and then you. Thanks for your help. Now that I feel the facility has received the bondage, we'll be able to discover something new. I'll take care of the main tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright, then I'll see you next time. See you. Nito Petito. Time on recording? A normal time, so I guess we're just gonna keep going. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered. I learned in the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I turned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me and collapsed to the floor. Did I get poisoned or something? It's not like I had anything to eat. Next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. Oh. I swear your mask changed, but whatever. I apologize for the violence, but wow, okay. I apologize for the violence, but I can show you the easiest way. Oh, where am I? Is this your hideout? Just a temporary accommodation, so it can be undisturbed for this meeting. Someone else used to live here until recently. Do you know who I am? Well, you're not Reza. Good. What did it take for you to figure that out? Since you're not whispering anymore, I can hear it clearly in your voice. I had a feeling that you wouldn't be him since the first time we met, though. Which first time are you talking about? The generator in the ceiling when you pushed me. I see. You can call me the administrator. No other humans are supposed to be here, though. I assume that's why you're wearing the mask. You don't want to be recognized. That's correct. Whoever you are, you also saved my life. One more. Then, on more than one occasion. Your presence here doesn't make any sense. You couldn't have come through the portal. The dragons would have noticed.
This is way wrong. My road through the portal is what led the dragons to discover it in the first place.
Is that so?
When I crawled out from the hole in the earth at the portal, there were no guards to discover me. My parents exposed the portal, but the dragons didn't know it was there yet.
So you arrived before Reza. That makes you the actual first human to come to this world.
That is more true than you might think.
Well, then who are you then?
I may have arrived at the portal like you. My story is very different.
I hope you take the mask off because I don't want to keep hearing this voice.
For the fall of humanity, I was an engineer. I was part of a team that was formed to create bioweapons. Our task was to create these bioweapons in a country where development hadn't yet been regulated or outlawed. These weapons were planned to be a low-cost alternative for poor countries to wage war. They could no longer have to rely on expensive drones and war machines for warfare. I was to set up a lab where our bioweapon development would take place. It was a clandestine operation set to be in the middle of the wilderness. The laboratory was an independent research unit and provided everything we needed to without having to rely on external resources or an existing power grid. Everything was to... I'm going to stop this until you come back because it's actually starting to hurt.
Everything was to be teleported right into the middle of nowhere, with no traces or paper to trail to follow. So international communities and law enforcement would have no idea of our operations. Our only connection to the outside world after setup would have to be a two-way portal to our headquarters, who would provide everything we needed. While we already could teleport individual people, teleporting a whole building was another matter entirely. Our solution was matter compression technology, incredibly expensive, but operating the gray market was also very lucrative. The technology behind it was much more complicated than even teleportation, despite being based on it. While teleportation works by utilizing black holes with a beginning end and end, compression technology relies on a loop, keeping matter in a sort of limbo state until the loop is broken. Working with black holes was very complicated to begin with, but this shape required much more finesse, and thus was much more expensive. I was to be sent alone to set up the lab and the portal, so the rest of the team could arrive safely. In case you didn't know, it was possible to use a portal to send someone to a previously defined endpoint. Therefore, it was not required to have a portal at the destination to be sent there. But as you can imagine, this is also very dangerous. A single variation off by a fraction could mean the difference between landing safely at your destination and smothering in space. Of course, my employer did not want anything like that to happen, not necessarily for my own sake, but because of all the unfathomable expensive equipment I had with me. Regardless, something went wrong anyway. Despite all their checks and safeguards, they could only minimize the risk so much. Even if the risk is a fraction of a fraction, sometimes you are just that unlucky. Hey, same. And sometimes it turns out that your bad luck is just a blessing in disguise. I arrived safely in the jungles of Earth, yet it was not the destination that had been planned. I knew something was off, but nevertheless, I set to work immediately. At the very least, I could prepare the building, I'd have shelter, and then I could begin preparations for our project. Getting the portal into the working order would take more time as it was a complicated process that could take several weeks. If things had gone wrong as I expected, I would at least be able to establish contact with headquarters after the portal had been set up, and I'd be able to return. While teleporting to the lab, I can't really use a mouse. While teleporting the lab to the wrong location was certainly a costly mistake, I was still lucky to have my life. Before long, I discovered the truth about the place I had arrived. While I was still on Earth, it was not the Earth I knew. It was the Earth of 65 million years ago. We knew that utilizing black holes for teleportation, time travel was theoretically possible. It was something even my company didn't dare to attempt, though, as teleportation in itself was still a very new technology. Yet here I was, 65 million years in the past, with research station all to myself. The company would reveal the opportunity to study and profit from all the different life forms I could see. So, what I'm getting, they took the dinosaurs, genetically modified them, and they basically turned into dragons. So instead of a meteor coming down, the dinosaurs stayed alive, ate up the monkeys, and then they're all dragons. Lit. If only they knew about him. I can't read. I spent the few weeks setting up the portal as planned, yet when I tried to re-establish contact with my employer, I was met with silence. Despite the time discrepancy, the portal should have been able to find my companies in the present. For a black hole, sending something through time is no different than sending something through space. However, when we built the portals, we gave them specialized configuration. It was only possible to travel through space by aligning them across the time axis. That meant that I, in the past, would still be able to search for portals in the present to connect with. My counterparts in the present, though, would not be able to find me in the past, even if they tried. But I couldn't find them. Not a single one. Even after checking the portal for its function, I determined that, for all intents and purposes, the portals from the company should have been there to connect with. It was then that I had a terrible realization. The portals in the present didn't exist anymore, or were no longer operational. Maybe the blunder of teleporting the lab caused them to reconsider the risk of using this technology. After all, it was already controversial and had been outlawed in several countries. I wouldn't have been surprised if they decided to cut their losses, but it was highly unlikely that it would have immediately shut down every portal and left me stranded without notice. Portal technology was still being relied on in several places in the present. In my mind, only one possibility remained: superweapons. Various nations had been using them as bargaining chips for some time. I didn't think that the threats had become that serious, but one of them must have launched their weapon and destroyed the majority of Earth. It could have been the result of a malfunction, or perhaps the political situation had escalated. Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what really happened. I could have sent myself back to the present with the right coordinates, but this was a risky endeavor. I also had to ask myself if it was the present I wanted to return to. I was sure that if anything was even left out of our world, the aftermath or a possible retaliatory strike would take care of the rest. In the end, I had to realize that whichever present did exist was likely not one that was worth returning to. It was my decision. It made my decision all the easier. Instead of returning to a destroyed civilization, I saw an opportunity. Rather than creating bioweapons, I could use the lab to create a new civilization shaped by my own ideals. Yes, furries take over. I had all the necessary data and most modern methods and machines at my fingertips. Besides, most of the processes had already been automated. In the end, I still used the lab for what it had been created for, using human and animal DNA to create beings that were mostly animal, but possessed a greater intelligence that allowed them to learn whatever we wanted them to. I didn't have any animal samples sent with me when I initially arrived. I collected them from the sources available to me. Automated processes mixed with the DNA further across the samples. New abilities were added, like enhanced armor, flight, and spit weapons, to make the new creatures more effective in combat. The result was a number of different species, all tailored and optimized to fill a specific role in a war situation. Why'd you go for war? Okay. Hormones allowed me to speed up their growth, and with the lab's learning program, they could be educated in whatever manner I saw fit. My first concern was self-sufficiency. They needed the kind of intelligence that would enable them to come together as their own independent society. Luckily, the AI that automated all the processes in the lab was more than helpful. I unleashed the first generation of my creation as their leader, founded our first village. I thought we could really pull it off. Once I saw that they could survive without my guidance, and also govern themselves, I knew my plan was a success.
When I realized this new society would eventually be destroyed, I told myself that I would do anything I could to save it.
Destroyed? What are you talking about?
Haven't you realized where we are? The Chicxulub asteroid is headed for us. With a diameter of over 10 kilometers, its impact will create homogeneous clouds of dust, throwing Earth into a little dark age. It will block out the sunlight for over a year, killing off many species of plants that rely on photosynthesis to survive. As a result, animals that eat those plants will also vanish, as will those who sought sustenance from these herbivores. After all, 75% of species will vanish, and a terrestrial ecosystem of animals, even a single known kilogram, will die. That would be 2.2 pounds, in case you didn't know.
Thank you. I'm actually a pretty stupid boy and don't know my meters per yards, so.
It would be the end of everyone who lives here. Every single dragon you have seen, unless we do something.
We? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, how are you supposed to, like, stop an asteroid? Shoot it, I guess? I don't know.
Do you not wish to save them?
I came here to help humanity. Now you tell me that this society, this whole world, is also on the brink of extinction?
That is the truth.
What kind of difference could a single person like me ever even make to save it?
Right now, it's also a single person that presents its greatest threat.
Reza? How?
In order to stop the comet, with as much power as possible.
You claimed all the generators you stole. Besides, how could a few of them be enough to make a difference for something like this?
Don't forget that Reza's still out there, looking for more. The truth is, I don't know if all the generators we put together would be enough. Wouldn't require enough to divert the comet's path during a crucial moment. But, even if this plan is possible, we need every single generator we can get.
So my goal hasn't changed, I just need to find Reza.
Yes, but you need my help, and maybe the help of others. You know that Reza is dangerous, and with his gun, he has a clear advantage.
How many shots has he fired off, and how many bullets did he take with him? Because he had a revolver, right?
Don't think that he would hesitate to kill you, if you were in his way.
Then what shall we do? Do you know where he is?
No, but I think you'll find him soon. You can count on my support when it happens.
I see. There is one thing that still doesn't make sense to me, though. The dragons have missed about you, but they don't know or remember you. They haven't even seen any humans for who knows how long. How much time could we have passed since you created them, and how? How many generations could it take to forget? Why isn't there proof of your existence?
I don't know exactly how long it's been myself. When I realized that time period I was in, what time period I was in, and that my creation was able to be wiped out in the future, I wanted to go to see that future and see what they become.
I hate your voice. I disabled the portal's time access safeguards and thus enabled it to connect with others in different times. This also included the very same portal in the future, with the generator of our lab being able to supply the portal with power for any indefinite amount of time. I was able to travel to any point in the future I wanted to. The entry and end point of a black hole would be the same place and the same portal, with the way traveled being just along the time axis. Since I could now search for connection points in any time period, I could look for my own portal in the future and pinpoint the moment its signal stopped. The comet.
Exactly. I found this big point in the time portal of the future.
Okay, I can't keep redoing your voice, dude. You gotta take off your mask, like, soon. Traveled to the future that was so as close to the event as I could safely manage. After a time there, my escape from the portal's hiding place led to the discovery by the dragons. It was the laboratory. It and the laboratory were on Earth. I still don't understand how our portal found yours, or why we ended up arriving at this particular time period. The portal you found was no doubt one of my companies. They must have been connected before, so the corresponding data for their connection already existed when you found it. I'm not sure if that could bypass the anti-time travel safeguards, though. Was it completely operational when you found it? No, it took a little bit of tinkering. Probably jumping the hardware safeguarding process. Now, consider that connected portals travel along the time axis together. The data for their beginning and endpoints are adjusted automatically. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to transport anything from one place in the world to another without also sending it through time. Since these two portals must have also been connected at some point, the corresponding data for the connection between those two portals already existed. When using the same connection without changing any of the data, this would mean that despite the time discrepancy between those two portals, time still progressed linearly. I'm not sure I understand. Let me try to rephrase that. The portal you found and my own share a connection. However, while the connection is locked to a certain place, which is wherever the portal is at the very moment, it is not connected to a specific point in time. For us, the physical machines that are the portals, time passes linearly. It's just a common linearly. And we can't do anything about that. However, for the black holes, this isn't the case. Because their entry and endpoints can be in different places, they can also be in different times. In order to not send something through time when we just want to transport something from one point to another, the portals are anchored together in such a way that the time data is automatically synchronized. Essentially, this means that ever since you arrived in this world, the same amount of time that has passed for you has also passed in the same place where you came from. I see. So despite being in different time periods, time still passes linearly on both sides of the portal. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for you to send messages back and forth to each other. If they were not synchronized, the portals on both sides would stay connected not only to a single point in space, but also a single point in time, thus making proper two-way communication impossible. However, this is only possible through the connection that has already been forged. If we wanted to, we could also use our portal to send you back to your own time period, but to a moment before Reza even arrived to you. But that would mean there would be two of me, right? Wouldn't that cause a time paradox? I can only tell you that it would work. No one has studied time travel before, though, so if there are any consequences, then I'm not sure of them. Most likely, an entirely new timeline would be created. There would also be a timeline without a horizon altogether, and a new one. And in a new one, there would be two of you. It's becoming way too complicated. I apologize. To come back to your original question, I'm not sure how much time passed between the time I left my newborn society and now. Since the portal was not designed for time travel, I have no way of knowing how the variables translated to our perception of time. It could have been thousands or even millions of years. How could the portal, or even its power source, still be operational after all this time? The portal receives its power from the generator in the lab. These units were fitted with the absolute best technology we had to offer. It was designed to provide sustainable power completely independently from any already existing network or power lines. It gains energy from many sources: sun rays, heats, earth's heat, and movement, just to name a few. Keep in mind, it had to power a whole laboratory and research station, while also providing the energy required for all its inhabitants and the associated energy expenditures. Taking its power from Earth itself, a generator like this could continue providing power to the lab indefinitely. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single dinosaur since I arrived? It seems that the Dragon Society expanded over the whole continent. Many still hunt on their own for sustenance, and as such, the original species they were based on have mostly vanished. As in direct competition, ours provided to be far superior. Proved. Also, they have probably taken measures against having big predators roam their cities and villages. Yet, while the dragon population has increased tremendously, I found that by and large, their society as a whole has not changed much. Is that why everything here looks like it was made for humans? I suppose so. The learning program I initially used gave them knowledge about things and how to create them. Yet, of course, those were only human inventions and designs. Did you not ever once stop to think that they should adjust how certain things look? A lot of furniture and objects I've seen looks very impractical for a dragon. I was surprised by that too, but I have an explanation for this phenomenon. Don't forget that their genome was designed by an AI program to make them into effective bioweapons. The idea was to have them indoctrinated at a young age. After reaching adolescence, their learning capacity would be greatly diminished. This resulted in subjects that would stay loyal and be unlikely to change their desired behaviors. Instincts also played a role. I imagine they were very much at odds with their own behavior. Instincts in animals never change, and instinctual behavior will always be there. If a given trait has been programmed into their genome as an instinct, it is not very likely to change, even through numerous generations. We can see the result of this here. While I initially made them to learn a certain set of values and knowledge, I found that the expression of those ideas has hardly changed. And as time has gone, each new generation learned from its elders, and much of the initial knowledge and information was retained through all this time. The genome as a whole did not change, however, which was unavoidable over time. If they had been used as bioweapons, as intended, they would have been nothing more than an army of identical clones. While I can see subtle changes in behavior as a result, some traits are still very much present to them. They're content with what they have and don't strive for more. They don't innovate or change, so technological breakthroughs or new inventions are a rarity. It's quite the opposite, really. Did I read something wrong? It's quite the opposite, really. They very much value tradition and their ways, which have not changed. Is that a type? I don't know. Which have not changed much of all these years. I see. How much time do we have left to stop this comet? In a few weeks. The comet will pass the moon, and its gravity field will point the comet's trajectory towards Earth. This is when we'll need to be ready. If we strike then, we only need to minimally affect this path in order for the comet to pass Earth safely. It won't be enough time for the inhabitants of this world to prepare if Reza steals our greatest assets. So it's all about Reza and the generators, isn't it? Indeed. By the way, I fixed a portal in case we need to use it. Did you break it to prevent me from being sent away? No, that was me. Is it better not use it to escape? Just me. The portal is our greatest asset. I've programmed it with emergency coordinates. If you should find yourself in a hopeless situation and feel there's no other way to go, Alice, go to the portal. I have made sure only you will be able to use them. I keep that in mind. So what's your plan? What do we do now? I'll resume my work, and you will continue yours. Find Reza. Make sure I turn to leave. Wait, what's with all the secrecy? Why are you wearing that mask? Why don't we pool our resources together and you show me your hideout? Don't you think it would be better if you were completely frank with me? No, not now. A second later, the figure had already vanished into the darkness outside. When I followed, I realized that I wasn't sure how to get back to my apartment. Suddenly, the trees and length of night, it was hard to make out where I stood. After wandering through the underbrush, I realized the lights on the horizon had been coming from the village, and I'd made my way back. I returned to my apartment without much trouble. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to see how much time had passed. Not having anything left to do for the day, I soon fell into a deep slumber. Well, that was a very interesting lore drop. I guess I'll do it for this episode. No. Chief. God. Okay. Chief, can I talk to you alone? Hey, Chief, can I talk to you alone? This is gonna be important. So I gotta go really grabby. Okay, Chief, can I? Chief. Well, Chief, can I talk to you alone? Chief. Chief, can I talk to you alone? Chief, I need. Chief, can I talk to you alone? What the fuck is this voice? I need. Chief, can I talk to you alone? Chief, can I talk to you alone? Chief. God. Chief, can I talk to you alone? Chief. Okay, need focus. If this is Bryce's voice, then Chief, can I talk to you? Okay.